I'm pretty sure the fairy tale equivalent of time out is imprisoning your daughter in a doorless tower for many years. It happens a lot. The Brothers Grimm has a pretty iconic version of this tale featuring a fantastic princess named Maid Maleen. It's not quite as messed up as some Grimm fairy tales I share here, but I'll do my best to make it appropriate for her.
Fucked up fairy tales with Liz.
Once upon a time, there was a princess named Maid Maleen, whose extraordinary beauty got her a lot of suitors. Maleen had her heart set on one prince in particular. I'll name him Roderick, but her dad wasn't impressed with the guy and pitched a suitor of his own choosing. Maleen made her feelings clear.
I love Roderick and Roderick alone. I refuse to marry any other man.
So her father locked her up in a tower with a single handmaid. The tower was windowless and pitch black inside. He left them enough food for 7 years, vowing only to return after those 7 long, dark years broke her spirit. Neat dad. We don't get any information about how Maid Maleen and her lady's maid got by for 7 years. I have to assume at some point they became an item and then broke up and then got back together again a few times before eventually going insane like Gollum. They could only track time through how many food stores and hopefully vitamin D supplements they had left. Eventually, their goods began to run out. The girls excitedly prepared to leave their dismal dungeon behind, but nobody came. Time went on, and food became scarcer and scarcer, but still, no one showed up to free them.
So I'm pretty sure Dad forgot about us. We're gonna have to Shawshank our way out of here. Angela, can you hand me the bread knife? Ow! I said the bread knife! What are you trying to kill me?
The girls took turns chipping away at the stones and mortar. Once they had a big enough hole in the wall, they could see why no one had shown up for them.
The sun is so bright! Oh my god! The kingdom is ravaged! My father's castle isn't even standing! The world ended and this shitty tower kept just us two alive.
The women made their way out of their prison, hitched up their skirts, and began hiking toward the next kingdom they could find. Very little was left of the land, including much edible vegetation. The women resorted to eating raw nettles to survive. They wandered for a long time, and it seemed for a while that no one would show them any mercy. At long last, the women arrived in a large city, quite worse for wear. They were taken in by the palace cook and made to work in the kitchens. In Jack Zipes' translation, he says they were put to work as Cinderellas, and I love the idea that being a Cinderella is actually a job in the fairy tale world. Now, this happened to be the city where Maid Maleen's beloved Prince Roderick was heir, but Roderick believed that Maleen had perished with the rest of her family, and so he was betrothed to someone new, a woman he'd never met. We'll call her Uda. Uda was, regrettably, a fucking dog. She was very ugly, so unspeakably ugly, that she wore a veil over her face when she arrived at Roderick's palace and shut herself in her rooms so he wouldn't know what he was walking into. Maid Maleen was the server assigned to bring Uda her meals, which gave Uda an idea.
You're what people consider hot, right? Oh, well, I wouldn't be so bold as to say, shut up and tell me, are you hot or not? I'm very hot. Cool. I sprained my ankle today, and I am not going to be able to walk all over the kingdom for the wedding procession. So it's your lucky day. I'm going to dress you up as me, and you're going to walk in the procession. You know, just until it's time for me and Roderick to bump bottom parts. I can't do that. How about if I gave you gold? I'm still not interested. How about or I kill you? That convinced me.
Yes, I'm afraid Uda's heart was even uglier than her face parts. So Maleen was gussied up in Uda's royal wedding attire. Roderick's dad, none the wiser, introduced her, and Roderick was like,
You look exactly like my lost love, Maid Maleen. But she perished in that apocalypse that only affected that one kingdom, right? Yes, she definitely died.
Maid Maleen, for her part, was fearful of being murdered by Uda. She talked to herself throughout the procession to soothe her nerves. As they passed by a crop of nettles, she said,
Nettles, it wasn't too long ago I was choking you down raw. What did you just say to those nettles? Nothing. I was just saying how sad I am about that lady you knew who died. What was her name? Christine? Maylene. Oh god, poor Kathleen.
As they walked over a footbridge, Maleen muttered,
Bridge, don't break on me. Don't break on the broad, catfishing the prince. Were you just saying something to the footbridge? I said, poor Darlene, just starving in that tower and being pillaged by pirates? I don't really know what happened there.
As they entered the church, Maylene prayed.
Door, hold fast and don't eject this false bride. Were you just talking to the door? Jolene, 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 Jolene. Oh, crap. I was supposed to give you this necklace before the ceremony. Here, let me help you put it on. It's so beautiful. Thank you, Roderick.
The ceremony moved forward, and at the end of it, the newlyweds were separated to get ready for, the bumping of bottoms. Maylene was put back into her servant clothes, but she kept the necklace from Roderick secret. Una got in her peignoir, but kept a veil over her face when she arrived at Roderick's chambers.
You sure talked a lot during the procession today. What was it that you were saying to those nettles we walked by? Happy to tell you what I was saying, but first I need to pee.
Una rushed back to Maylene to find out what the woman had been saying to the plants. She threatened the girl, so Maylene told her about her little ode to the nettles, and Una returned to Roderick.
I was just talking about this time that I ate a bunch of raw nettles, and I was also blabbing about some lady named Colleen. Right. And then you were muttering something to the footbridge as we walked over it. Oh yeah, the footbridge. I'm happy to tell you. I need to poop. For some crazy reason, I asked the bridge not to break because I was catfishing you. I don't know. I just love a good joke. Plus, I'm so sad about that lady, Nadine. And what were you pleading to the church door? Oh my God, do I need to vomit? I was just cracking jokes again about being a false bride. It's my imposter syndrome that's popping up because I am marrying you, Roderick. And then I was so sad about that lady Justine. Hey, you aren't wearing that necklace I gave you. What necklace? I didn't see that bitch wearing a necklace.
The prince, beyond suspicious, snatched the veil from Uda's face and recoiled.
Who the fuck are you, and why is your face like that? Oh my God, I was just so nervous that everyone in town would laugh at me because of my vile visage. So I sent the scullery maid in my place. I'll deal with you later. Guards, lock up this monster and get me the maid.
Maylene was brought before Roderick, and the two were left alone.
Yes, you are the woman I married. What the fuck is going on? You look just like Maid Maleen. It is me! I'm Maylene! Shut up! It's true! My dad locked me and my maid in the tower for 7 years with 7 years' supply of food to live on, so we were saved when the kingdom was ravaged by, what was it ravaged by? You didn't hear? Everyone in the kingdom ate a bunch of radioactive shrimp and exploded! Well, that is not what I expected. Whatever, the point is that we are actually married. What a day. Guards, I need you to execute Uda for her treachery. Do it by beheading, because nobody should have to carry around that heinous mug. Nobody. Did you get it?
The two lived happily to the end of their days. As for the lone tower left in the mysteriously demolished kingdom, for many years little children recited a rhyme about its lonely inhabitants. Ring around the tower, princess duck to flounder, ashes, ashes, it all burns down! Or something like that. The end. If you like that, there's more Princess in the Tower stories on my Patreon, and more than that, you're gonna love this book by me, Liz Irene Gattaco.
R.I.P. latrine. Not caffeine! I always loved a little Listerine. Come on, Eileen! Poor Baleen, at only 15? Charlene, Charlene, Charlene. It's obscene what happened to that serene Sabine. Gone too soon, Poutine.